Imagine waking up in the dark. It's not the peaceful darkness of a bedroom, but the heavy, suffocating weight of 6 feet of Mississippi soil pressing down on your chest. Your lungs are screaming for air that isn't there, and your fingernails are ripping against treated oak. This is how Ray Lazarus starts his Tuesday. Just 48 hours ago, Ray was a man with a badge and a sense of justice, trying to stop the fentanyl tide from drowning the city of Jackson. But the system didn't just fail Ray, it executed him. Now, as his fingers break through the surface of the earth and he pulls his mangled body into the moonlight, Ray realizes something terrifying. He's not a man anymore. He's an anomaly. And the people who put him in that hole are about to find out that death was the only thing keeping them safe. The city of Jackson, Mississippi, looks different through Ray's new eyes. The neon lights of the downtown bars don't just glow, they vibrate with a sickly energy. Ray stumbles through an alleyway, his clothes tattered and soaked in the mud of his own grave. He catches his reflection in a rain puddle and freezes. The bullet wounds in his chest, the ones delivered point blank by Demetrius Barkley's men, aren't bleeding. They've turned into jagged, silver scars that hum with a low, rhythmic light. Every time his heart beats, if it's even a heart anymore, a wave of cold power ripples through his nervous system. He feels faster, stronger, and unervingly hungry for something that isn't food. But while Ray is coming to terms with his resurrection, the man who killed him is celebrating. Demetrius Barkley sits in a high-rise penthouse, overlooking a city he's effectively conquered. To Barkley, Ray Lazarus was just a speed bump in the road to total market dominance. He's just secured a shipment of a new synthetic strain that's 10 times more addictive and 20 times more lethal. Barkley's world is one of silk suits and high-end scotch, but what he doesn't realize is that the ghost of his greatest mistake is currently walking toward his front gate. Ray isn't just coming for Barkley, he's coming for the entire infrastructure of the Jackson underworld. Ray's first stop is a low-level distribution hub, a dilapidated laundromat that serves as a front for Barkley's street dealers. As Ray pushes open the door, the bell rings with a sound that feels like a death knell. The dealers inside laugh at him, seeing only a homeless man in rags. They tell him to get lost before they give him a second grave. But when the lead dealer reaches for his waistband, Ray moves. It's not human movement. It's a blur of shadow. Before the dealer can even clear leather, Ray's hand is around his throat. The strength is intoxicating. Ray can feel the man's pulse, the heat of his blood, and for a second, the darkness in Ray's mind whispers to just squeeze. He tosses the man across the room like a rag doll, smashing him through a row of washing machines. The other 3 dealers open fire. The sound of 9mm rounds filling the small space is deafening, and Ray feels the lead tearing into his jacket. But he doesn't fall. He doesn't even flinch. He walks through the hail of bullets, his silver scars glowing brighter with every impact. He reaches the shooters and begins a systematic dismantling of their bodies. It's not a fight, it's an extraction. He leaves them alive but broken, a message written in shattered bone. But as Ray stands in the middle of the wreckage, his breath coming in jagged gasps, he notices something. His skin is turning a pale, translucent gray. The power that brought him back is consuming the very life force it's using to fuel his revenge. Meanwhile, Vanessa, a local investigative journalist who was Ray's only ally before his death, is looking through his old files. She's convinced Ray didn't just stumble into a drug bust gone wrong. She thinks he was sold out by someone inside the precinct. Her phone pings with a police scanner report, a mass casualty event at a laundromat on 4th Street. Witnesses are describing a dead man who walked through bullets. Vanessa's heart stops. She knows Ray's body was never recovered from the morgue, it simply vanished. She heads to the scene hoping she's wrong, but secretly praying she's right. Ray is hiding in the shadows of a parking garage when Vanessa finds him. He looks like a monster, his eyes flickering with a violet light that wasn't there before. She approaches him slowly, her hands trembling. She calls his name, and for a moment the predatory glow in Ray's eyes fades, replaced by the grief of a man who knows he can never go home. He tells her he's wrong, that the things he's feeling aren't human. Vanessa doesn't care. She tells him that the city is dying and that the Lazarus Project, a name she found in a leaked government file, was never meant to create a hero. It was an experimental biological weapon designed to create an unkillable soldier. Ray wasn't chosen by God, he was chosen by a corporation as a test subject. This revelation changes everything. Ray isn't just fighting a drug dealer, he's fighting the people who programmed him to be an assassin. But what he doesn't realize is that Barkley is also on the payroll of that same corporation. Barkley's new drug isn't just for profit, It's the fuel the corporation needs to power more Lazarus units. The stakes have just shifted from a local gang war to a global conspiracy. Ray realizes that if he wants to truly die and find peace, he has to burn the entire system down. Barkley, now realizing that Ray is back and more dangerous than ever, calls in the Cleansers. This is a tactical unit equipped with specialized weaponry designed to neutralize anomalies. They track Ray to an abandoned cathedral on the edge of town. This is the first time Ray faces an enemy that can actually hurt him. The Cleansers use high-frequency sonic emitters that disrupt the energy holding Ray's cells together. As the sound waves hit him, Ray's skin begins to crack, glowing purple energy leaking out like radioactive blood. He's being torn apart from the inside out. Just as the Cleansers move in for the kill, Vanessa creates a distraction, detonating a series of gas canisters in the street. In the chaos, Ray taps into a deeper level of the Lazarus power. He lets the darkness take over completely. He stops fighting like a man and starts fighting like a force of nature. He moves through the cathedral like smoke, picking off the tactical team one by one. The screams of the Cleansers echo through the hollowed-out church, but Ray feels nothing. No pity, no remorse. Only the cold, hard logic of the hunt. By the time Ray reaches Barkley's penthouse for the final confrontation, the sun is beginning to rise over Jackson. Ray is barely holding his physical form together. His face is a mask of silver scars and glowing violet veins. Barkley is waiting for him, but he isn't afraid. He reveals that he's taken a concentrated dose of the Lazarus serum himself. He's faster, younger, and just as unkillable. The two titans clash in a battle that levels the entire floor of the skyscraper. Glass shatters, concrete crumbles, and the two men trade blows that would liquefy a normal human. Barkley taunts Ray, telling him that they are the same, that they are both gods in a world of insects. But Ray realizes the difference. Barkley wants to live forever to rule. Ray wants to die to save. In a final, desperate move, Ray grabs Barkley and lunges out of the floor-to-ceiling window. As they plummet toward the street, Ray reaches into his own chest, grabbing the glowing core of energy at his center. He forces the energy to overload, turning himself into a living bomb. The explosion is silent and beautiful, a shockwave of violet light that sweeps across the city. When the smoke clears, Barkley is gone, reduced to ash. Ray is lying on the pavement, his body finally still. The glow is gone. The scars are fading. For the first time in weeks, Ray feels the warmth of the sun on his face. Vanessa runs to his side, but she knows before she reaches him. Ray Lazarus is finally truly at peace. But as the camera pans back from the wreckage, we see a black SUV parked 2 blocks away. Inside, a man in a lab coat looks at a tablet. A notification pops up. Subject 01 terminated. Subject 02 through 50? Awakening. The screen flickers to 50 different morgues across the country, where 50 sets of eyes snap open, glowing with that same violet light. Ray was just the prototype. The real war hasn't even started. If you were given a second chance to fix the world, but it meant becoming the very thing you hate, would you pull the trigger? Or is some darkness better left in the grave?